Before I tell you what happened to me, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. What you're about to hear is more than a story. It's a nightmare I lived through, one that still follows me every single day. It was November 5th, 1975. Snow was just beginning to dust the mountains in Apache-Sitgreaves National Forest, Arizona. I was 22 years old, working with a logging crew. We weren't strangers to hard labor, to the sound of chainsaws biting into the earth, to the silence of the woods once the machines stopped. That evening, we were tired. The sun was setting, and shadows stretched across the pine trees. The smell of sap and earth clung to the cold air. Mike Rogers, my best friend and the crew boss, drove the old pickup while the rest of us piled in. There were 7 of us in total. Mike, Ken Peterson, John Goulet, Steve Pierce, Alan Dallas, Dwayne Smith, and me. We were joking, laughing the way young men do after a long day. None of us could have known what we were driving into. As the truck bounced down the dirt road, a strange glow caught our eyes. At first I thought it was the setting sun reflecting through the trees, but it wasn't that. It was too bright, too alive. A golden light shimmered between the branches, pulsating as if the forest itself was breathing. "Do you see that?" I asked, leaning forward in the seat. Mike slowed the truck. No one spoke for a moment. All of us were locked on that glow. It wasn't fire, it wasn't a spotlight. And then, we saw it. My heart hammered. Every rational thought told me to stay inside the truck. But curiosity, reckless, youthful curiosity, pushed me forward. The men yelled for me to get back. Their voices cracked with panic. But I couldn't stop. The craft hung no more than 20 feet above the ground. It glowed with a strange bluish light. The closer I got, the more my skin tingled, like static crawling over me. And then, it happened. A beam of light, sudden, violent, shot down and struck me square in the chest. I don't remember falling. I don't remember hitting the ground. All I remember is the pain, searing, electric, as if my body was no longer my own. The crew screamed. Later, they would testify that my body was lifted into the air like a rag doll, thrown backward like I had been hit by an explosion, and then, nothing. Darkness. When I opened my eyes, I thought I was in a hospital. The air was thick, heavy, metallic. Lights glared above me. My chest burned, my body ached. But then, I saw them. 3 figures leaned over me, small, frail, skin pale, almost translucent. Their heads too large, their eyes, those enormous black, lidless eyes, stared into me as though they could reach into my very soul. Panic ripped through me. I lashed out, knocking one aside. My body felt weak, but adrenaline carried me. I stumbled off the table. My feet touched the floor. It was cold, almost sticky. The creatures didn't move like us. They glided, silent, watching. There were instruments, panels glowing with strange symbols, walls curved and seamless like I was inside the belly of some mechanical beast. Unlike the others, this one looked human, tall, muscular, dressed in a helmet and tight suit. His face was calm, expressionless, but his eyes seemed empty. Relief flooded me until I realized he wasn't speaking. He only gestured. I begged him for help. "Please, get me out of here, they're trying to hurt me." He didn't answer. He just motioned for me to follow. Weak and terrified, I obeyed. We walked down a narrow corridor, the walls glowing with faint, pulsing light. I tried to ask questions, but he gave me nothing. He led me into another chamber. And then, he was gone. The room opened into a vast space, larger than the craft I thought I had entered. Inside were more figures, tall, human-like, but eerily perfect. Their skin was flawless, their faces calm, devoid of emotion. I shouted at them, begged them to explain, demanded they let me go. They never spoke. Instead, they moved toward me slowly, with precision. When I woke, I was lying face down on cold asphalt. The night sky stretched above me, stars sharp against the black. The craft, whatever it was, hovered silently above and then vanished into the heavens. I was alone, weak, terrified. I stumbled toward the nearest lights I could see, a gas station in the town of Heber. My body shook, my throat was dry. I barely managed to call for help. I had been gone for 5 days. When I returned, chaos erupted. The police had accused my friends of murdering me. They had been interrogated, suspected, even forced to take polygraph tests. The results showed they were telling the truth. They hadn't killed me. They saw me struck down by the beam, but no one believed them. Reporters swarmed. Skeptics ridiculed us. Families were torn apart. I was questioned endlessly. Doctors examined me. My weight had dropped dramatically. My body showed signs of dehydration and trauma. Some tests showed I had been without proper nutrition for days, and yet they couldn't explain where I had been. Over the years, the case never died. Scientists, skeptics, believers, they all picked apart my story. Hypnosis sessions revealed buried memories. I recalled cold instruments pressing against my body, a mask placed over my face, and the sensation of being restrained. Witnesses from the crew never changed their accounts. Even decades later, their testimony remained consistent. Some broke down crying when recalling that night. New research into electromagnetic fields and radiation burns suggested the beam that struck me left marks consistent with intense energy exposure. Skeptics claimed it was all a hoax. But if it was, why did my friends risk their freedom? Why did they all pass lie detector tests under incredible pressure? Why did I return broken, starving, dehydrated, exactly as a man would be if he had been held captive? Even now, as I tell this story, I can still smell that metallic air. I can still see those black eyes staring into me. I wasn't supposed to survive. I know that now. When the light took me, I felt like my soul was being ripped away. When I woke on that cold road, I knew something had changed inside me. People think of aliens as a mystery, a wonder, something to marvel at. But for me, they are not wonder. They are not hope. They are terror. This is my story. Believe me, or don't. But know this. There are things in the dark skies above us, watching, waiting. And if they choose you, there is no escape.